Welcome to this lecture on risk appetite, a crucial concept in risk management and strategic decision making. Risk appetite plays a significant role in determining how much risk an organization or project team is willing to accept in pursuit of its objectives. Understanding risk appetite helps organizations and project managers make informed decisions, balance risk and reward, and align their strategies with broader business goals. In this lecture, we'll explore what risk appetite is, why it matters, how it differs from risk tolerance, and how organizations define and communicate their risk appetite. Risk appetite refers to the level of risk an organization or project team is willing to accept to achieve its objectives. It represents the amount of uncertainty, variability, and potential loss that an entity is comfortable with in pursuit of its goals. Risk appetite is an important guideline for risk management, guiding decision-making and strategy. Organizations with a higher risk appetite are generally more willing to take bold steps, explore new opportunities, and embrace innovation. On the other hand, organizations with a low risk appetite tend to prioritize safety, stability, and risk avoidance. Risk appetite is critical because it sets the boundaries within which an organization or project team operates. It influences strategic planning, project management, investment decisions, and operational practices. Here's why risk appetite is so important. Risk appetite helps ensure that the level of risk taken is consistent with the organization's strategic objectives. It provides a framework for balancing risk and reward. Risk appetite guides decision makers in assessing risks and determining which risks are acceptable. It informs project managers on how to respond to different types of risks. By establishing a clear risk appetite, organizations can create a consistent approach to managing risks across projects and business units. A well-defined risk appetite can enhance stakeholder confidence by demonstrating that the organization has a clear understanding of its risk exposure and a plan to manage it. Organizations with a clear risk appetite can encourage innovation by allowing teams to take calculated risks in pursuit of new opportunities. Risk appetite and risk tolerance are closely related but distinct concepts. Risk appetite is the overall level of risk an organization or project team is willing to accept. It provides a broad framework for risk management and strategic decision making. Risk tolerance refers to the specific limits within which an organization or project team is willing to operate. Risk tolerance represents the degree of variation or deviation from the expected outcomes that an entity can withstand. In other words, risk appetite is the overarching philosophy, while risk tolerance defines the boundaries and thresholds for specific risks. Risk tolerance helps project managers understand how much deviation is acceptable before corrective action is needed. Defining risk appetite involves a thorough understanding of the organization's strategic objectives, stakeholder expectations, and risk profile. The process typically involves the following steps. Identify the key objectives and desired outcomes for the organization or project. This provides the context for defining risk appetite. Assess the types of risks the organization is likely to face, considering internal and external factors. This helps determine the range of risks to be addressed. Understand the expectations and preferences of stakeholders, including investors, customers, employees, and regulators. This influences the acceptable level of risk. Develop clear statements that describe the organization's risk appetite. These statements should be specific enough to guide decision-making, but flexible enough to adapt to changing circumstances. Share the risk appetite statements with relevant stakeholders and project teams. Effective communication ensures everyone understands the organization's approach to risk. Once risk appetite is defined, it needs to be implemented across the organization. This involves several key activities. Ensure that decision makers consider the risk appetite when making strategic choices, project plans, and operational decisions. Continuously monitor risks to ensure they remain within the defined risk appetite. If risks exceed tolerance levels, corrective action should be taken. Ensure that risk appetite is integrated into the organization's risk management processes, including risk identification, analysis, response planning, and monitoring. provide training and awareness programs to ensure that all team members understand the risk appetite and know how to apply it in their roles. Risk appetite is a foundational concept in risk management and strategic decision making. It guides organizations and project teams in determining how much risk they are willing to accept to achieve their objectives. By defining and communicating a clear risk appetite, organizations can align their strategies, make informed decisions, and build stakeholder confidence. In this lecture, we've explored what risk appetite is, why it matters, how it differs from risk tolerance, and how to define and implement it effectively. By understanding these concepts, project managers and business leaders can create a risk management framework that promotes success while managing uncertainty. Thank you for joining me in this lecture. I hope you found this exploration informative and valuable. If you have any questions or need further guidance on risk management, please feel free to reach out. Remember, the right risk appetite can be the key to achieving your objectives while navigating a complex and uncertain world.